Hiring Solved started out at Gangplank. The two founders met here, and we've been having fun ever since. So, startup equals rocket. Why does startup equal rocket? Because a lot of reasons, right? It takes a ton of energy to get off the ground. Needs to be well built. Needs to be lots of good things. Startup equals rocket because if startup doesn't get off the ground, like rocket, it explodes, right? So yeah, startup equals rocket. I think about this all the time. It's sort of like once you launch the thing, you're either going to get escape velocity and you're going to get up into orbit, or you're going to all die in a fiery death. So, but we don't have to worry about that right now. What we really do is worry about this, which is getting something going, right? So this is sort of how we did it. We started working on something and ambled around, and then all of a sudden threw it off a hill and went, holy shit, we're flying. And flying for us was, some people started using it. Hiring Solved is a tool for finding talent, and we were building it under the assumption that recruiters would use it. I have some experience in that area, so all of a sudden we were sort of flying with a few users on it, and then we said, holy shit, now what? Right, now we actually have to build it into a business, and that makes it really, really hard. So as hard as it was to get something started, I think the much harder part, realizing now the much harder part was actually to fly it, navigate it where you want to go, and realize that you just need to make it better and better and better. So the first step to that, based on what I know now, is don't panic, Trevor. Don't panic. I did a lot of panicking, and I think it's just a natural instinct, because when you finally get this, which is sort of, took us a long time, took us probably 6 months to get to a place where we had something launching, and then the only thing you want to do is just not crash, right? So you start to worry. And what I found in my own work is that fear is sort of the antithesis of creative thinking, and you need to be pretty creative when you're doing a startup. So don't panic. Realize that this is what you wanted. You got here, and the next step is grow a beard. Grow a beard. Why grow a beard? This actually worked for us. Now, Trevor already had a beard when we started, but it was a pretty thin beard, kind of like he has now. And as you can see, I don't know if you can really see that, but Trevor's got a big mofo of a beard right here. It comes all the way down to here. And I never grew a beard in my life. I was 40 years old and started to grow a beard to try to get us to $10,000 a month in revenue. And it actually worked. That's the amazing part. The reason I grew a beard was because every morning, first of all, I've never done it before, and I hated it. It bothered me every day. And the deal was I couldn't trim it, couldn't touch it. And every day I would wake up, and I remember the first thing I would think about was, oh my God, there's hair in my mouth. I hate hair in my mouth. Like, it's the worst feeling. And that was my beard, and it would make me think, can't shave the beard, hate the beard. So it made me think about that revenue goal. And sort of just stay laser focused on it because I really wanted that beard off. And then Trevor joined in by growing a really ridiculously long beard, which is very itchy and scratchy. And anyway, it made me think about it all the time. It got us to focus more on that goal, got me to focus more on that goal. I channeled that beard into gravitating into the universe, and in came Matt Ekstrom over there, who was supposed to give this talk, but asked me to give it at 8 a.m. this morning. Thank you, Matt. But Matt helped out a lot with the revenue and grew his own beard. So beards are a big thing in Hiring Solved. We use them for goals. Trevor's great big beard was a profitability beard. We had to achieve at least some profitability at some point to get allow him to trim. I had a $10,000 a month beard, which I got to shave, thank God, thanks to a lot of hard work from the team and Matt and selling stuff. Matt had then we got sued by LinkedIn, which is a $25 billion company. And then Matt had a LinkedIn beard that he could only shave after we got rid of that lawsuit, which we did. So people that know me kind of know that I like this graphic here, because to me it represents a startup. Startups are brutal. They're absolutely brutal. You don't know what you're getting into until you get in it, and you have to me, the reason I like this is because this just represents a startup to me, and maybe it's goofy and whatnot, but there's an ever-evolving theater of threats in a startup. I don't have enough money. I'm going to have to go back to work. My wife is angry at me because I don't have any money, or our competitors are closing in on us and going to kill us because we just spent all this time building this thing, and now someone else has one, and it looks really good. Or the bear, in this case, was a $25 billion company suing us, which was really scary. But what I've realized is now, after being in it for a couple years, and this is our sort of 2-year anniversary, we launched, I believe, on a Wednesday night at Gangplank 2 years ago. We'll just say today. Yeah, thank you. And what I've realized is that the beard, or sorry, not the beard, the bear changes shape and all the time, but it's always there. And I think even in a company as big as Apple, which is, again, I think they're the most profitable company, again, or worth the most, the bear is always there. The bear for them today is the iPhone 6 tanking, right? If the iPhone 6 tanks, stock goes down, they lose billions and billions of dollars. For us, the bear today is our new product launch that we're working on that, is just threatening to kill us every day because we haven't been able to get it out yet, and we're working hard on it. So the bear is always there, the threats are always there, and it is brutal, and eventually you just have to sort of get used to it. One thing I highly recommend if you're doing a startup is hire crazy people. Hire crazy people. I absolutely believe that. You kind of have to be crazy, and I just love these guys. So here we are out in Amazon asked us to come out and pitch to them for a day. We went to Seattle, and this is Trevor and Matt. Matt, for some reason, thought it would be a good idea to bring a banana into the meeting. So he's got that banana there. And it looks like Trevor's sucking on it, but he's not. He's just behind the frame there. And but, people kind of have to be crazy to do this kind of stuff. But what I really mean is, I think the people that I think make this thing tick for me is people that are really passionate about what they do, and they're crazy in the sense that they just can't stop. They'll never stop. It doesn't matter if they're getting paid. It doesn't matter, if you're not supposed to do it. If we made programming illegal tomorrow, those two guys would still be programming, and they'd be in some kind of contraband, dugout hole somewhere, avoiding the man. So it kind of goes back to loving the work. This is a really blurry picture of the first time Ian and Trevor were inside of a data center. So it's like where the internet really lives, and a lot of people haven't seen them. I grew up being a screwdriver monkey in these places, so I whipped out my phone because these guys were standing there like this for about 5 minutes, just whoa, it's so cool. But it goes back to that passion thing, and been lucky enough to build a team that is super, super passionate about what we do, love the work, would be doing it, if we got paid or not. Read about it all the time, just can't stop. So that sort of Matt's the same thing on that. Next bit of advice is a little bit about, I guess it's sort of about sales, it's really marketing. Dogs and t-shirts, highly recommended. Dogs and t-shirts. We use a lot of both. I I think t-shirts were one of our first investments. We bought 6 t-shirts. It cost like $300. This isn't one of them, but we still have those t-shirts, and it was a real monument for the company. Made us put a little marketing message together and whatnot. And what I've noticed is that, truly our biggest social engagement is if we put a picture of a dog. Like, it's amazing. We can release a new product, we'll get in the press, we'll do this or that, or we raised $1 million. None of that comes close to social engagement and people clicking on stuff. This is where the money is. And what we also found is I've done a lot of expensive marketing in the last year. So we did raise some money, and part of the horror of that raising money was after it felt so good to have that money in the bank that I didn't want to spend it. I just wanted to sit there and go, I've got $1 million in the bank. I'm just going to keep it there and not do anything with it. And then I realized the horror was, oh gosh, I actually told these people I would spend that money in a really smart way to accelerate the growth of the company to these ridiculous goals that I told them I would do. And we've experimented, in fairness, we experimented a lot with different ways to do that, to spend money to accelerate growth. And none of them equaled this. I spent $60,000 on a PR company. It was recommended by one of our advisors, who I think is a really smart guy. But what I've noticed about advisors, or at least this class of advisor, he's a really smart, really successful guy. But $60,000 to him is not the same thing as $60,000 to me. So to him, it's like, yeah, $60,000, a bargain. They got me, in Forbes and blah, blah, blah. Well, they got us in Fast Company and lots of different places too. But the actual traction from it sucked for the money. it was nothing. It was, but again, so that's one thing. It's advice is relative, right? $60,000 to him. I was like, yeah. I was in Forbes. It was $60,000, no problem. What has worked is just simple marketing that we could have done practically for free. We could have silkscreen shirts here for free at Gangplank. People do that kind of shit here all the time, and that's what's really worked. So this is we made these shirts that just say "I'm a hunter." We work with headhunters, and people seriously, they act like we're giving them pieces of gold. Awesome people that we want to engage with, right? If we ask, these are rock star recruiters at eBay. They're all people that are known in the industry, in one of the best tech companies out there. And if we ask them for a testimonial, can you write a testimonial about hiring solved and how awesome it is? Dead air. We'll never get it. But they come to us and say, can you give me one of those t-shirts? And when we say yes, they say, really? And I say, yes, you just have to send me a picture of you wearing it. So we have tons of pictures of these great leaders in our industry, and these guys are wearing our glasses too, wearing our shirts. So lesson learned here, we probably spent $150,000 plus in marketing, and I won't say that it didn't do something for us. There's definitely some value in when you Google hiring solved, aside from the lawsuit stuff you'll see stuff about us in magazines that make us seem a lot more reputable. So there was some value to that, but it's still not like this. Other little stunt that we pulled that I learned a lot from, we bought these glasses. They're about $2 a piece, and we went to a conference, and people were stocking. Trevor had a box of them. People were stocking Trevor for these glasses. And they say hiring solved on the side, and they would literally do anything for them. And I heard, as I was at the bar, people didn't know who I was. We spent all this money to sponsor this thing, right? We spent $20,000 to sponsor this thing. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody knew. We sponsored the happy hour. We got this. Our color is blue. We got this special blue, rock candy, and made blue champagne and all this stuff. No one gave a shit. What they cared about was the glasses. I'm standing at the bar, and there's these girls there trying to get blue champagne. I'm like, I can get you some. And they're like, who are you? Well, I'm the guy that's paying for all the blue champagne. They don't care about that. But then on a side channel, I hear, there he is. It's the guy with the glasses, the guy with the beard. The bearded guy has the glasses. And sure enough, zip, and they all head off towards Trevor, right? This cost, a few $100s. I think it was $500 or something like that. And still today, we're known for these glasses. These glasses, with our logo on them in the daylight, have been pictured on some of the biggest recruiting industry blogs in the world. And people still, to this day, this was over a year ago, but people still today tweet at us and ask us for t-shirts and glasses. And so that's something that I highly recommend. Just, one thing that I'll dispel is just sort of yes, we got funding, we got really inefficient in the way that we did marketing, and we did get to experiment with some of this stuff, because like I said, the first t-shirt batch was on my credit card, and we only had 6 t-shirts, so that made them really, really rare. But so it was, this still does cost some money, but high value. Last thing I'll say is just where we are today. So we did really well. We grew really fast, and then and probably too fast. And LinkedIn came after us, and it almost killed us. So we got sued by a $25 billion company. Looked like it was going to be the end of us. Certainly could have been in many, many scenarios. But there's been a number of times in Hiring Solved where things look terminal. I'm looking at the edge of the cliff. The plane looks like it's coming down. Doesn't look like we're going to make it. And to get the thing launched originally, I started, and to try to get the $10,000 a month revenue goal, I started running. I'm not a runner. I'm not an athlete. I suck at it. I did my 23andMe thing, and it comes up and says, not an athlete. No fast twitch muscle. You shouldn't, just forget about it. But what I've learned, I liken this endurance running to startups, because it just sucks. I mean, anyone that does it, it's brutal and it's horrible. And if you set your mind in the perspective of, holy shit, I've got 5 miles to run, or 10 miles, or 15 or 26 miles to run, or whatever, it feels like an insurmountable task, and it will. But if you just literally think one step at a time, and in the face of insurmountable odds, like a lawsuit, or like feeling like you're about to run out of money, or something like that, if you focus just on the next step, next 10 steps, next half a mile, pretty soon you look back and you're 5 miles in, you're 10 miles in,